It's hard for track and field to get into the mainstream sports news, to get on debate shows, ESPN, Fox Sports 1, all that stuff, having notable athletes in other sports talk about it. And Noah Lyles, with just a single quote, found a way to get the attention of the sports media in the broader picture. Mm-hmm. Now, I have a take to Noah Lyles' take, and some people might disagree with it, but before I get into that, let's talk, for people who've been living under a rock, because you shouldn't be, because Worlds just happened.
Yeah.
Noah Lyles was talking in the press conference about, he's won 3 world titles. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if this was after his 100 title, the 200 title, or the 4x1.
I think it was after the 2, because it felt more recent.
Yeah, but it might have been after the 1, and we just kind of didn't highlight it because track and field was going on. But
okay.
Anyway.
It was recent, within the last week. In
the press conference, he's quoted saying, "World champion of what? ? The United States?" Calling out the NBA for calling themselves world champions. You could also say this is calling out Major League Baseball because they call it the World Series. Mm-hmm. The NFL probably use world champion. They might.
They may.
They might. But a lot of American-based team sports use world champion, even though they only take place in Canada and the United States. Mm-hmm. So Noah Lyles throws out the grenade, and people react.
Yes. Everyone's reacting.
Everyone reacted.
At this point, yeah.
Drake reacted. Drake said he thought this speech was going to be so hard in the mirror the night before, now the whole league doesn't rate you. Did Noah Lyles practice this speech in the mirror before? I feel like he did. He definitely did. This was not something he came up with in the moment. This is something he journaled. He wrote down.
He journaled? I wouldn't go that far.
He prepared this. So Drake is kind of has a point there.
I don't know.
Noah Lyles did not say this in the moment. Noah Lyles 100% prepared
so you felt this speech. Like during the midst of the 6 rounds he's done, the 100, the 200, the 4x, again, this was within the last week. You feel like he sat there in front of the mirror and practiced this, wrote this down,
yes,
and was like, "This is what I'm going to say in the press conference."
1000%. Noah Lyles has been telegraphing his whole.
I don't think Noah
image.
Lyles has that kind of time.
He
to be sitting there thinking about his speech that he's going to give at the press conference.
He prepares what he wears when he walks out to invitational track.
That's different.
Do you think he prepares what he's going to do when he's in the starting blocks when the camera's on him? Yes. He prepared.
I feel like he does that in the moment. Of course, we see similar things. He's getting the crowd hype. That's just part of who Noah Lyles is. But I don't think he's camera's on me. Okay, what am I going to pull out of the hat for my introduction?
He prepared for ripping his jersey off after he won the title last year in the 200.
Are you sure?
Yeah. He was quoted. He said he had, asked him if he practiced ripping it off. He's like, "Oh, well, I'm not sure exactly what he said, but he did admit that he was kind of thinking about doing that if he won." Noah Lyles wants to make sure his image is the right image he wants to pursue in front of the camera, so he thinks about it. There's no shame in that.
Right.
But he definitely was like, what's something I could say that would get headlines? And he 100% said the right thing to get headlines. So, okay, let's keep going.
Okay, so this was said. People were reacting.
Basketball players reacted.
Yes.
Kevin Durant said, "Somebody help this brother."
I was cracking up when I saw that. I was like, okay, go ahead. Because I know you're going to give your take. Go ahead.
Aaron Gordon, this is a bad take. Aaron Gordon said he could smoke him in a 200.
That, I need you to,
That
you need to have a full seat. Absolutely not.
There are more things. That's the most wrong thing you can say about anything, is saying you would smoke Noah Lyles in the 200. For a non-runner to say they can smoke Noah Lyles in the 200.
Exactly.
I don't even think Arian Knighton can say he can smoke Noah Lyles in a 200.
He hasn't done it yet.
He hasn't done it yet.
No.
So that's a basketball player thinking they can smoke Noah. That's ignorance.
That's like me saying I can dunk on Kevin Durant or something.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to go that far. I know my boundaries.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I was about to make fun of myself, but I won't. I'll stay away from that. There's a lot of opportunity there. So
I knew where you were going with that too.
Aaron Gordon You need to throw that out.
Oh, man.
KD, that's more funny. All right, then Sha'Carri got involved.
Yes.
Sha'Carri said, I'm standing with Noah on this one. Which is like, does she stand against Noah on other things?
Maybe. But she's saying, maybe.
When I first read that, I was like, oh, what's the thing that you don't stand with Noah on? I don't know. Maybe I'm definitely reading too much into it. Noah Lyles, the organization, have players from different countries, but they compete against different countries. You have to go against the world in order to be world champion. And then Greg Popovich, Spurs coach, in 2010 did say that he doesn't think they should call the NBA champions world champions because they don't go outside the borders.
Right.
Now do you want to give your take on this?
No. Let's go with your take.
You want me to go first?
Yes.
Gordon first?
Gordon first.
So, first of all, this means absolutely nothing. Who cares what we call it?
Okay.
I don't think. Like whatever. Like why does it matter? Why do you care what someone calls themselves? Like let them live their life. Let the NBA players call themselves intergalactic champions for all I care. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Call themselves. Do they need to be like North America? They have the. All I know is that whoever wins the NBA and whoever is the NBA MVP is the best basketball player on the planet. There's no basketball player
on the planet.
1,000%. If you're the NBA MVP, you're the best basketball player on the planet. Wait, hold on. Name a basketball player who doesn't play in the NBA who's better than an NBA player.
It's okay, go ahead.
That doesn't exist.
Okay.
It's the best players in the league.
Okay.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, hold on. But all of it goes down to this one take. And fellow podcast colleague in a different company, Barstool, great podcast. Part of my take, they reacted to this, and PFT had a great take. Let's run it. This is my real reaction.
Right. So good point. Yeah, this is the dumbest debate ever, especially when you consider all the best players in the world play in the NBA.
This is track and field being like, please like my sport.
Yeah, and then you think about some of those Spurs teams.
Right there.
Remember the Spurs when they won? Maybe they're.
Okay, that's it. This is track and field being like, please like my sport. Track and field has this problem. They constantly have this loser energy where they say, ooh, please like us. We are cool too. We're fast. We're faster than Tyreek Hill. Oh, we are more of a world champion than Kevin Durant or Nikola Jokic. Mm-hmm. It's all loser energy. Stop trying to beg for the attention of the NBA fan base, the NFL fan base. Fucking glorify. Well, I didn't mean to curse there. Embrace the attention.
Very passionate about this topic.
Embrace the attention that track and field fans give you. This is not a problem. No track and field fan is saying like, I love track and field so much, and it would be so much better if just the NBA would cut the word world champion from their name. Like, no one cares about that. You can like basketball, you can like track. It's all the stupid thing. It's definitely a please. It's a pick me. It's a like me. It's give me attention moment.
I don't know how I feel about that.
If Noah Lyles wants attention, he should call out his competition, not the NBA players. If Noah Lyles wants attention, he should just continue to run fast. And he's doing that. That's the good. But talking about the NBA does nothing for track and field. No one is all of a sudden like, I'm a track fan now.
Let me ask you this question. Are you a do you follow the NBA?
Yes.
So this is where I'm like, okay, I'm not necessarily an NBA fan. Like I'm not going to say if it was on TV, cool, but I'm not going to schedule my life around the NBA.
Yeah.
So I feel like
the listeners know I have a problem with the NBA with my Sixers addiction, but anyway, continue.
So I feel like you're very passionate about this because you see both sides of it, right? Like you are in the NBA, you breathe the NBA probably.
I'm in the NBA, yeah.
Yes, you breathe it,
training
right?
Camp starts in a couple weeks.
So, see, your girl did not know that. But here's my thoughts. I feel like Noah was trying to make a point that he can truly, genuinely say he is a world champion. He competes against people from all over the world at the biggest stage. Nobody else is helping him. Cool. Here are my takes on this. And I had someone actually approach me about this. And they were like, well, they thought it's safe to say that NBA could be considered world champions. They were like, there are people from international countries competing on a team. I'm like, cool. Are they all from the same country? That was my question. They're like, no. So I'm like, how can you define and say that you are a world champion?
I'm giving you the floor. I'm choosing not to interrupt for a reason. I'm choosing not to interrupt.
I'm like, no, you're not a world champion. You're not. You're an NBA, you're part of the NBA. Awesome. I don't think it's considered being a world champion until we get to Gordon.
Look at guys. I'm waiting.
I'm going to say what Sha'Carri said. I'm staying with Noah on this one.
What does it matter that a entirely different sport uses terminology have anything to do with Noah Lyles?
I guess it doesn't.
Does the Denver Nuggets winning the title? But why? What's the reason for making the point?
Because he's just comparing that he's like, I'm an actual world champion.
Were people saying he wasn't?
No, I don't know.
Maybe someone in the press conference
I don't know what's in his DM. Somebody could have said, you're definitely not a world champion.
Yeah, no one said that. No one said that.
I don't know.
He's making up an argument that no one was arguing. No one was ever saying Noah Lyles is not a world champion.
Who says he was trying to start an argument? I think he was just saying, I'm a world champion. And now, look at us now. We're all having conversation about it.
Okay. You know what I'm going to say? If he calls himself an Olympic champion, I'm like, you can't say that.
Why?
You're not an Olympic champion. You're a world champion. Because it's the rules of, why do we call Olympic champions not world champions?
Because it's a different...
It's the exact same thing. It's three athletes from every...
Technically, yes, but, it's the way...
Why don't we, differentiate? Isn't it stupid that we differentiate?
The Olympics is every 4 years.
It's the Olympics. It's still a world championship. Why don't we call the Olympics a world championship?
You're right, but it
doesn't matter.
Olympics.
Who cares? That's my whole point.
It's the Olympics.
It's the NBA. It's worlds. No one was saying Noah Lyles was not a world champion, and then he says, I am really sick of me not being known as the world champion. Who was saying that? No one. No one was calling Noah Lyles a fraudulent world champion.
I don't think that's what he was trying to say, though.
He was calling out people that had... Kevin Durant wasn't saying, you're not a world champion. No one was saying that. He throws a brick into a glass house, and then he says, why do you guys have a brick in your house? Maybe that's not the right analogy. But it just made no sense. He was picking a fight for no reason.
For no reason, correct.
He should pick fights.
But he's just making a statement.
He should pick fight. But that statement is loser energy. That statement is, oh, give us attention. NBA fans and NBA Twitter and NBA media punditry, please talk about us.
I don't think that's where it was going.
1,000% that's where it was going.
It was a talk about me statement. I don't think he was trying to be like, how can I fix... I don't think he's sitting there...
He 1,000% was doing that.
And was like, how can I get track and field to be like on everyone's mind right now?
That's exactly what he was doing.
I don't think so. No.
It was 1,000% what he was doing.
No.
I'm willing to bet the $1,600 that I lost this past week and double down on that.
We cannot go there anymore.
That Noah Lyles
I'm trying to save your pockets right now. Absolutely trying to save your pockets.
So you are on the Noah Lyles idealistic world. I'm realist, and I just think it was all for show and a show that no one wanted to watch.
It has you talking, though.
Has me talking. But yeah. I'm trying to talk about how this is just track and field saying, please like our sport. And I don't like when we do it. Why do we pick fights with, in order to grow track and field, you don't do track versus NBA or track versus NFL. You do track versus track. You get Fred Curley, Lamont Jacobs, Coleman, Bromell, all these, and Noah Lyles saying they're all better than each other. You don't see Kevin Durant being like, Patrick Mahomes, he's not that great of a football player. He doesn't have good hand-eye coordination like I do because I can hit 10 threes, whereas Patrick Mahomes can only throw a football. Do you ever see Kevin Durant, or do you see NBA players call out NFL players? Or vice versa? Or baseball players call out NFL players?
Again,
no.
I just
the only sport that calls out other sports is track. Maybe track is the
A lot
problem.
of people are saying, like, football players all the time say, "Let me race you. I can beat you in a 40."
They say
it all the time.
No, they only say it when,
Oh my
when
gosh,
they're called
I
out.
can't even tell you how many times I've been like at A&M. Like,
They only say it when they're called out.
nope, I'm minding my business, and they're like, "Liv, let's go race 40 yard." But I can get you. It happens all the time, Gordon. Happens all the time.
Tyreek Hill only called out
All the
because
time.
Bolt called out Tyreek Hill.
Happens all the
Well,
time.
track Twitter calls out Tyreek.
Happens all the time.
All right.